Good evening. I'd like to call the April 25th, 2017 Planning Commission meeting to order. My name's Les Tillery. I'm the chairman of the Planning Commission. And there may be some of you here tonight that have never been to a Planning Commission meeting, so I would just like to give a brief overview of the commission and how it functions. The Planning Commission consists of 12 regular members and 2 supernumerary members. Each member is a volunteer appointed by the mayor. The Planning Commission is made up of 2 subcommittees, the Zoning Committee and the Subdivision Committee. Each regular member of the Planning Commission is assigned to one of those 2 committees. And each committee meets separately from the Planning Commission. Zoning meets on the 2nd Wednesday, and the Subdivision Committee meets on the 3rd Wednesday of each month at 7:30 on the 7th floor of City Hall. And these meetings are open to the public just like this meeting is. The primary responsibilities of the Planning Commission are to recommend zoning ordinance amendments, annexation, and zoning requests to the City Council. Planning Commission adopts and applies subdivision recommendations. We approve location, character, and extent requests. We approve city master plans. We approve vacation of right-of-way requests, street name change requests, and plat vacation requests. Planning Commission is supported by an excellent planning department and staff, and they review each item before it makes it to the Planning Commission to make sure it meets all the requirements of the subdivision rules and ordinances and any other rule that needs to be applied to an item before it comes to us. At this time, I'd like for each member to introduce themselves, and we'll start down here.
LaFrida Jordan.
TJ Mears.
Donna Hendricks.
Gary Whitley.
Sally Warden.
Peggy Richard.
Kelly Scrimshire.
Jeffrey Rice.
Michelle Jordan, planning staff.
Okay. The first item on our agenda is the adoption of minutes.
Move to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. All right, the second item on our agenda is public hearings, and just would like to explain the rules of the public hearings. This is a time for anybody to come before the board and make comments on each item on the agenda. This is a time for us to listen to you, and we will make notes and acknowledge your concerns. And during the time for our discussion, we will discuss each item before we vote on it, and we will try to get as best we can answers to your concerns. We really do listen, and we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for each item on our agenda, and your input is important for that. So, if you would when we call the agenda item, if you would come to one of the podiums on either side and give us your name and your address for the record, we'd appreciate it. So the first item under public hearings is ASHTON Springs Phase 2, a re-subdivision of a portion of Tract 1, ANSLEE subdivision. And Thomas will give us a report on each one.
ASHTON Springs Phase 2 is located Northwest City, east of Indian Creek and south of Douglas Road. This item was before you for relayout in December of 2015 for 253 lots. This is located in the PUD established in approximately 2007. It is overall 51.86 acres.
Is there anyone here to speak on ASHTON Springs Phase 2? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Item 2, Hampton Ridge Phase 7.
Hampton Ridge Phase 7 is located southeast city, south of Sutton Road, and west of Old Big Cove Road. This property is recently annexed as of December of 2016 and zoned as of March of 2017. This property is zoned R1B, is overall 38.41 acres.
Is there anyone here to speak on Hampton Ridge Phase 7? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Item 3 is Henderson subdivision, a minor.
Henderson subdivision is located southwest city, east of Rockhouse Road and north of Henderson Road. This item is zoned R1B and is overall 35.07 acres.
Is there anyone here to speak on Henderson subdivision? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Item 4 is Preserve at Inspiration Phase 2.
Preserve and Inspiration Phase 2 is located southeast city, west of South Chaldee and south of Nature's Trail. This item is zoned R1A. It's overall 37.02 acres. This is a continuance of Phase 1 of Inspiration, which was final platted in March of 2016. This relayout or preliminary is for 32 lots.
Is there anyone here to speak on the Preserve at Inspiration Phase 2? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Item 5 is the Preserve at Wheeler.
Preserve at Wheeler is located southwest city, south of Barron Fork and west of Zert Road. This item is was before you for layout in originally July of 2007 and is being re-preliminaried as of for this month and was last before you April of 2016.
Is there anyone here?
Zone R1 is overall 94.24 acres.
Is there anyone here to speak on the Preserve at Wheeler? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Item 6, Providence Phase 10.
Providence Phase 10 is located northwest city, north of US Highway 72, west and west of Providence Main Street. This item is of the PUD overall development of Providence and is approximately 9.17 acres located, and with this item was relayed out in March of 2017, just last month.
Is there anyone here to speak on Providence Phase 10? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Item 7, Segers Segers Trail Subdivision Phase 2. This item has been withdrawn, but we'll continue with the public hearing.
Segers Trail Subdivision is located southwest city, north of Interstate 565 and east of Segers Road. This item is zoned R2 and is overall 13.58 acres. This item was before you originally for relayout in December of 2016 to eliminate a stub to from Old Cobblestone to the further development to the north. This item was also preliminary for Phase 1 in December of 2016 for 57 lots.
Is there anyone here to speak on Segers Trail Subdivision Phase 2? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed.
Leave it open.
Okay, I'm sorry, we're going to leave that public hearing open.
It's submitted.
We'll leave it open until it's been resubmitted. All right. Item 8, Trailhead Huntsville, re-subdivision of tracts 4 and 5 of Chase Creek Park.
Trailhead Huntsville is located northeast city, south of Highway 72 East and west of Moores Mill Road. This item is zone R1A and also R2B. It is overall 358.75 acres. This was previously known as Chase Creek Park.
Yes, sir.
I'm Robert Terry. I live at 186 Shadowbrook Lane in Huntsville. I have concerns about some of the historical sites that are not within where where the subdivision's going, but it's just above it. And these sites there's an old spring house up there right at the bottom of the slope. It was built somewhere around 1835, and it's in very good shape, and I would like to see it preserved as it is and not let people get to it. I'd like to see a fence built around it so that you could see it, but you can't get to it to touch it. I'm afraid if people start getting to it, they'll take rocks off of it. There's several other sites, old water preserve sites in there where even before the Civil War, the people were getting water from these sites. And these need to be preserved.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I've never been to one of these meetings before, so I just have some general questions. Is that okay?
Could state your name and your address?
Catherine Bryan, 226 Shadowbrook Lane.
Okay.
So what is the timeline for this? Like, are we looking at Is it this year, next year?
I do not know the answer to that question, but
Okay.
we will find out.
Okay, I mean,
Go ahead with the rest of your comments, and we'll address that.
is this zone Huntsville or is this zone Madison County?
This would be zoned Huntsville.
It's zone Huntsville. So from what I looked at the map, it's gonna connect to my neighborhood. So, like, when they do stuff like paving and stuff like that, does that take into consideration like our neighborhood and Old Gurley? Old Gurley is in very poor shape. I don't know how big did you say this lot is?
It's overall 358 acres. Most of the lots are in conjunction with our with the zoning specs for R1B and R1, R2A and R2B, which is approximately 5,500 square feet at minimum. The smallest lot in the subdivision is approximately 5,750 square feet.
Can you put that in acre-wise?
It's like a tenth of an acre
So that would be the smallest,
lot.
and then what would be the largest?
The largest can be, we don't have a maximum. We just have a minimum that they have to meet, and then it can go above there.
Okay.
Per the layout, to protect it, since it is a conceptual design, to protect that it does meet zoning, what we have is on the layout is a note stating the smallest lot size, which conforms to zoning, and therefore if the land is, it meets that zoning spec, then it can be divided. But lots can go from 5,000 to 10,000 or 20,000, or they can be 1 acre lots, but there's a minimum set per district.
So is all of this proposed subdivision gonna dump out onto Old Gurley?
There will be an extension of what is currently Moore's Mill, if you can follow my cursor, that would have a stub road tying into this
Right.
particular parcel, which is not included in this layout. There would then be a cul-de-sac that leads to the rear of the property for access and for movement of traffic from all subdivisions. Then these ties work into the overall development from your neighborhood into the future development. Connectivity for policing, fire, emergency, movement of people, transportation, connectivity is essential in overall planning development. As far as the roads in your neighborhood, they should not adversely affect your roads in your neighborhood. There should be no through traffic as far as construction through your neighborhood.
Okay, because just the roads in my neighborhood are dismal, and Old Gurley is dismal. I mean, it keeps getting pothole after pothole after pothole, and instead of repaving it, it's just patched, and it's patched, and it's patched. And I mean, if you're gonna have all this on there,
And what we can look into is some of the capital improvement projects to therefore see if it is budgeted for Old Gurley to be widened or improved over years. I cannot confirm said events, but as far as with the patching of your neighborhood, roads may be, you would have to take that up with, I would suggest you informing Public Works, or we can assist you in informing Public Works of the magnitude of the damage within the neighborhood and potentially help there. I cannot confirm said events will be done, but we would definitely be happy to introduce you to the appropriate people and connect you with them to assist you in these areas.
And
Excuse me.
Thomas, we'll make note of it and pass it on as well.
Yeah, we'd be happy to take note of your address and talk to
She's a-
Public Works and get you some more information on the status of.
okay. I mean, it's not necessarily my area, but Hollington Drive has a huge pothole that's like as big as a tire, and it's been there a year, you know, something like that. There's spilt gravel all over it, so like no one can bike on it. And like I said, same thing with Old Gurley. It's just the potholes are ridiculous.
Would you mind leaving your phone number or email address with Mr. McGuffey there? And I promise I'll get back with you on
And
that.
house address, please. Did she say a house? Can you leave your address as well? Thank you.
You got the address. We have the address.
Hey.
Thank you, Ms. Bryan.
I'm
Yes,
Mike
sir.
Alvarez. My residence is
I'm sorry, say it again.
Mike Alvarez. I live at 2310 Gallatin Road. I have a lot on Hawks Way. My question, we had some discussion before the meeting. We were showing the plots. Is this development for all 300 acres? I just kind of want to get this in the minutes.
It is for the lower portion, that's where the development will occur. I'm not sure where there is, but there is a restricted 100 acres in that particular area within the slope portion along the back of Hawks Ridge Way. There are some developable lots between Hawks Ridge Way and what is a part of this particular plat that are not owned by this particular developer. I'm not sure who is that owns just along Hawks Way. If you can see within the,
Understand that, right.
there's a parcel of land that exists between these two developments that is not included in this development.
Can you show me about where the line is for the restricted deeds?
I couldn't attest to that. I know that there is a restricted deed area of about 100 acres, which was set by the original owners.
Okay.
But that's primarily along this slope development. There are caves that we have 25-foot setbacks on. The spring house has a 25-foot non-disturb area. So there are regions in this particular, especially around the slope area, that are somewhat protected, but could still be potential for development in the future. I can't say that they couldn't be developed in the future. That would just be a instance that someone would a private entity would therefore take on to develop. But most of it, I would foresee that it would just remain as natural. The developer is here, Mr. Dan Nash, with Concord Land Development. He may be able to attest to what can be preserved.
Sure. My name is Dan Nash. I'm at 2000 Andrew Jackson Way. Let me kind of give a brief description of the project overall. This is a multi-use development. Typically, your multi-use developments will have three aspects. We're adding a fourth. What we're doing is we have some commercial out front. We have some single family. We intend to have some multifamily. And the fourth aspect, and what's making this project so unique, and Mr. Terry and his concerns, we are very sensitive to the historic features of the property. We're going above and beyond the deed restriction of preserving 100 acres, which is recording and runs with the land. We're preserving approximately 180 acres and don't intend to disturb that at all. So the project is incorporating approximately 2.5 miles of greenway. The development, the feel and look of the development, we're intending on a very pedestrian-friendly development, a walkable community where you can live, potentially work, go get something to eat, shop, and have your recreation there. Another unique aspect of the property is this backs up to the east side of Montesano Mountain. And the greenway, if you see I don't know if you can kind of tell, to the south, there's somewhat of a horseshoe shape. There's a dark line that you're pretty close with your cursor there. That is a relatively flat spot that had been cleared years ago, our select cut by the previous owner. We're working to maintain as many trees in that area. That is below the slope development line, so we can develop that property with our intended use, but we're choosing to hold well off of what we would consider as reasonably sloped property that we could develop economically. But because of the nature and the character of this property and how we are so sensitive to it, and cannot tell you how excited we are about preserving these historic features that Mr. Terry spoke of, and giving not only the residents of this community a place to enjoy the mountain and the nature that we're so blessed with here in Huntsville, to draw in residents from all over the city that can come park here, get on the greenway, and then this horseshoe spot that I spoke of here, we're calling that kind of a transition area from the hardscape greenway to the existing nature trails that actually connect from this property to the state park. So the potential with recreation and the mountain and utilizing that is just tremendous, well beyond this 350 acres. It will connect, and we're committed to connecting, and this to all the way to the west side and south side of the mountain as well. I'll be happy to
Can you
answer.
tell us what
any
your
questions.
timeline is?
Sure. I'm currently in design phase of the first phase, which let me back up and address the question about traffic on Old Gurley Road. I agree it is a concern. That's a valid point. We actually do not have any road frontage other than about 200 feet of road frontage on Old Gurley Road. It's actually technically not on Old Gurley Road. It's on Harris Hill Boulevard, which is the improved portion of that. So we're designing the access road that's coming in from the existing stub of Moore's Mill into the property. And then we are actively designing approximately 74 single-family homes. I intend to submit that for the June Planning Commission meeting. So if you guys are interested in seeing any of the detailed design, those should be coming out soon. It's just a process of doing the detailed design. What we're wanting to do here with just simply giving the layout approval without the preliminary, which is a little bit unique. Normally you do layout with preliminary, is to do exactly this, for you guys to give us early and often input from the beginning. So as we get into the detailed design, we can take your concerns and try to utilize that into the design. To your question, as far as timing, this 74 lots, if things go the way that I would like it to, we would like to be moving dirt in July, is our plan. Approximately 3 months to build the streets and the utilities to establish the lots themselves, and then we will immediately start building. The nature and character of these single-family homes that we're designing is, it's what we call a SUBDIVISION street section, which is a narrower street section as far as the vehicular traffic. The sidewalks are set further back off of the street itself, and they're much wider than would be in a typical subdivision. There will be a series of street trees along the street. There will be no driveways or garages in the front. All vehicular traffic will enter and exit to the homes from a rear alley. There will be no single-family homes in this 74 lot development that will not have a rear alley. So some might know it or call it traditional neighborhood development. It's got that. There's lots of nuances and unique things that you do. The overall goal in doing those little things in the design is to, again, encourage a pedestrian-friendly development. So, any other questions? Yes?
Is there any plans for any roads through your green space?
No, there are not. The only improvements that will be on what you might consider green space, well, first let me say, the slope development line, which is represented on that, we're not touching that. There will be no foreign, there won't even be a paved greenway there. Any trails in use that will be there will be entirely just beaten down by, whether it be machetes, and the trails are already there. They'll just be earthen trails. The vehicular roads will be well off, again, the slope development line, well below where we could reasonably and economically develop.
Thank you, Mr. Nash. Yes, ma'am.
So what kind of houses are we looking at? Are we looking at, and I'm not trying to be rude, but are we looking at the kind of houses where every single house looks exactly the same, cookie cutter, like you see some, I've seen in like Meridianville and places like that? Are we looking more like the Hawks Ridge area that are unique?
Our home plans are not finished yet. We've hired a regional architect from, not from Huntsville, that is working with us, who has done multiple projects with traditional neighborhood type developments. We're developing a totally new and unique product for us as a company and what we do. We have built nothing like this. We've done some similar stuff, some similar things in Midtown and a couple of other areas, but the look of the homes themselves, again, there will be no garages in the front. So what that does architecturally is it frees you up to really do some neat things with some front porches, which there's little things that people, even me, wouldn't notice that you do, that it's almost like it subliminally encourages you to get outside, sit on your front porch, know your neighbors. As far as every house looking the same, I sure hope not. We're going to have a series of anywhere from 8 to 12 home plans to choose from. A wide palette of colors and choices that it will be market driven. We do have a vision that we're laying out for this development, and we're very committed to it. However, let me caveat that with like this project and any other project is market driven. So what I'd like for you guys to do is join us and get excited about this project, because this is a special project. This is not the next subdivision next door. This is special.
Are we looking at like brick homes, siding homes?
They will be full brick. There will be some, it's not going to be vinyl siding. There will be some, some trim, just like any other home. But I can't, you may consider they all, you may think that they all look the same. I certainly don't.
What is the price range?
We haven't established that quite yet. We're still doing some market research to establish what the market will hold. Our starting point that we're using in our discussions right now, and again, let me repeat that our plans are not developed yet. We're about 80% complete with those. We do have some renderings and some concepts, but there's quite a bit more detail work to do beyond that. When we began this project, we're looking at starting at 200 and up.
Now, Dan, I'm sure that the public is very interested in the product that you'll be providing. Unfortunately, this deals strictly with the land, so we would like to stick to the subject of the land. There are no regulations in the state of Alabama that therefore, or in the city of Huntsville, that therefore establishes building standards. There are building standards, but not as far as architectural standards. But as Mr. Nash has stated, that he is highly interested in what your input has. So I'm sure that he will be potential to open his door as far as those negotiations or information is provided to. But we can stick to the land itself.
I apologize.
Yes.
You guys are welcome.
If you have a question, just you go to the podium and then you can address who you are, your address and name, and then we can continue with the public hearings.
Hi, my name's Kathy Lang. I live at 114 Savoy Circle. I'm just kind of wondering, going back to the PDF that you had up there of the map or the land, what do you guys intend, I guess this is kind of also directed at Mr. Nash, what do you guys intend to do with the area marked like TR5? And because you guys are going to be offset from Old Gurley, so what are you doing with all that land in front? Or do you have anything to do with that?
But let me ask her to give all of her questions and get through with her public comment, and then we'll come back and let you answer those questions.
My land, I own property adjacent to this. So I received a letter saying, hey, this is going on. I live at the edge of a cul-de-sac, which is going to border up against all of this. And according to the maps, I'm just supposed to hopefully see Greenway. That being said, there's still some sizable portions like the TR5 and I guess the big section right next to it. What is the intended use for that land? And that's pretty much.
That's your question
in
its entirety. TR5, that TR stands for TRACT. There are probably Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there are approximately 10 tracts. Specifically Tract 5, we've held that blank because that particular side of the project is zoned for multifamily. And again, as I said before, we have a vision for this project, which is 4 aspects: retail or commercial, multifamily, single family, and then the recreation. So the market is, we're playing with the balance of what demand will there be from the market for multifamily versus single family. Right now, we're looking at a pretty close balance of, say, 250 to 300 each. I don't know how that's going to shake out, and any of what I'm saying here don't.
Okay.
I mean, it's we're in concept right now, and
Mr. Nash, let me make a suggestion here. Is there anyone else that has a comment? Okay. I would like for, it seems our questions are related to his development in particular. So I would like for anybody that has a question to go out in the hall with Mr. Nash and talk to him about his development. And then if your questions are answered, they're fine. If not, come back in. I'm going to hold this public hearing open and come back, and we'll give you opportunity to speak, okay? So, all right, we're gonna hold that one open. That was Trailhead Huntsville.
I have a quick question about land. It is land and development related.
Okay, would you go ahead and talk to Mr. Nash and then come back? I'm gonna hold this open and then come back, and then we'll address your question then.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna hold item 8, the public hearing, open. Item 9 is location, character, and extent. First one is Green Mountain Volunteer Fire Department Accessory Building.
Green Mountain Fire Department Accessory Building is located southeast city, east of South Chaldee Road, and north of Emerald Point. This item, I'll zoom in, and then that's the location, and just bear with me as I pull up the PDF. So this is for the volunteer fire department on top of the that operates for Green Mountain. To the south is a large structure that holds the actual fire truck. There is a home and a smaller storage facility. This project will seek to build a structure that is approximately 31 by 32 feet and 14.6 feet of height. It is overall 930 square feet. It is a metal structure, and per zoning ordinance, no primary or accessory structure is non-residential or structure with a footprint in excess of 1,000 square feet shall be allowed to use aluminum, steel, or other metal siding or cladding as an exterior finish. Considering that this structure is under that 1,000 square feet, this particular structure can be metal, and it is particularly for storage. There are some products that serves the Green Mountain Fire Department that are kind of stored throughout Green Mountain. So we want to try to seek to locate those particular items for better use of those volunteer firefighters.
Is there anyone here to speak on the Green Mountain Volunteer Fire Department accessory building? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. I need to recuse on this item, so I'm going to ask Gary to handle the UH Invention to Innovation Center.
Okay. Item 9B, the UAH to Innovation Center.
This item is located southwest city, north of Holmes Avenue and east of John Wright. I'll turn over to Rodney Steger of Fuquay & Partners Architects for presentation.
Yes, I'm Rodney Steger with Fuquay & Partners Architects. This particular project is a new building located at the UAH campus between the existing College of Business Administration and south of Wilson Hall. It's actually connected to the College of Business Administration. It's 45,000 square feet, three-story building, has bridge connections to the existing building. But the building itself is designed as an incubator for business development for the university. The outside of the building material-wise is going to be very similar to what you would see on UAH's campus and very similar to the building it's attached to. So you have brick, some stone attached to it, as well as some glass and metal panels. Primary use on the inside of the building is what you would describe as tenant space. So if you had an idea that you wanted to develop as a development source, you'd be able to lease space of what size you might possibly need and be able to have space to grow into. You'd have access to certain facilities or certain amenities that might help you if you were a business developer and a novice in business, and that's the primary use for the facility.
Thank you, Mr. Steger. Is there anyone here to speak to this public hearing item? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Mr. Tillery.
Thank you, Gary. Item 9C, Huntsville Tennis Center expansion.
This item is located Southwest City, south of Airport Road and east of Lehman Ferry Road. I'll turn over to Sarah Allen of BWSC for presentation.
I'm Sarah Allen with Barge Wagner. This is just an expansion of the Huntsville Tennis Center that exists right now. As you can see by the picture, those 6 courts that are highlighted in green are the added courts. They will match the character of the existing courts. They are going to be clay, and that picture is a picture of an existing shelter between the courts, and we are matching that exactly as well, and it will be the same. Those are what's in the middle of each of those pairs of courts. This is bordered on one side by the city dump, landfill, what do we call it that? And on the other side is the rest of the development, the Huntsville Tennis Center.
Is there anyone here to speak on the Huntsville Tennis Center expansion? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Item 9D, Wonder Walk in Gateway Park.
This item is Center City, west of Meridian Street and south of Cleveland Avenue. I'll turn over to Kathy Miller with United Way of Madison County for a presentation.
Thank you. This is a very simple, minor installation in a new existing park in downtown Huntsville. It's in the Greenway Gateway, which if you know where the lumberyard parking lot is, everybody knows where that is. It's adjacent to that, in between Bud Kramer Park and the depot and the Veterans Park on the south side. And it will simply be an installation of multiple signs that are low to the ground, no higher than 4 feet tall. That will be an early learning trail. There's an example of some beautiful artwork. We have a local artist, Elizabeth Dawson, who has donated to United Way this beautiful artwork, different on every sign. And it will be an exploratory place, one that we hope will encourage traffic in the downtown parks, especially among our young children who are getting ready for school. And the content was developed. This is one from, we have 5 Wonder Walks in the community. This is one from Alabama A&M University's campus, and we partnered with them several years ago in 2015, I believe, to install that. We have one at Brame Spring Park, we have one at Mill Creek out in Madison, and we have an indoor Wonder Walk at the public library. So this will be a nice addition to the group. This is the one at Brame Spring Park. So you can see they all have a little different flavor. And our goal is we received one of the downtown Huntsville grants, 504 grants, which is allowing us to do this for the community.
Is there anyone here to speak on Wonder Walk at Gateway Park? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Item 10 under public hearings is the zoning public hearings. 10A is Beadle Lane rezoning.
The Beadle Lane rezoning request was initially introduced to the zoning committee November 2016. This item was originally recommended for planning commission public hearing December 2016. At that time, the item was withdrawn by the applicant. Since then, the applicant has requested to have this item presented again. This item was introduced to the zoning committee last month during the March 2016 meeting, and this item was recommended for today's planning commission. This item is approximately 37 acres. It is currently zoned highway business C4, which this is the original zoning of this property from 2007. After the property was annexed and zoned. The zoning request by the petitioner today is to rezone the property from neighborhood business C4 to residence 2 district, which is consistent with the adjacent subdivision. The property owner would like to construct single-family detached dwellings, and that is not permitted under the highway business C4 district.
Is there anyone here to speak on the Beadle Lane rezoning? Jim.
Yeah. Commission members, the staff would like to continue to review this request for 30 days to give us more time to understand the noise exposure zones. So if you don't mind, we'd like to have this come back in-house and give the planning department more time to further study this request.
Okay, thank you. Is anyone else here to speak on Beadle Lane rezoning? Claudia. Leave this open or close it? All right, seeing none, the public hearing is closed. 10B, BINFORD zoning.
This zoning item is a newly annexed property. This property is approximately 0.43 acres. It's located on the east side of Harris Road and south of Oakwood Road. It is near Oakwood University. Planning staff would like to propose a zoning designation of Residence 1B, which is consistent with the other homes on Harris Road.
Is there anyone here to speak on the BINFORD rezoning? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Item 10C, Pulaski 2 rezoning.
This rezoning request is approximately 3.68 acres. It's located on the north side of Stringfield Road and on the east side of Pulaski Pike. This property is the former Bo Matthews Center for Excellence. The property is currently zoned Residence 1A, which is the original zoning of this property. It has previously been used as a place of worship as well as a daycare / kindergarten facility prior to the Bo Matthews Center. The current property owner and petitioner would like to sell this property, and they have intended users for the property, but they cannot utilize their use under the existing zoning. The petitioner has requested to rezone the property from R1A to neighborhood business C1, which there is C1 immediately west of this property. And this C1 zoning designation does meet the regulations that are listed in Article 20 regarding the depth of newly created C1 lots.
Is there anyone here to speak on the Pulaski 2 rezoning? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Okay, that brings us to the end of our public hearing agenda. We have one item still open, the Trailhead Huntsville. Can somebody ask them to come back and let's complete this public hearing?
They're closing up now, so they'll be back.
Are they coming back? Okay, we are complete with our public hearing agenda. I have this one item, Trailhead Huntsville, still open. Is there anyone here to speak on the Trailhead Huntsville? All right, seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Okay, second part of our agenda is subdivision. Kelly Scrimsher, would you read our subdivision committee report?
I would be glad to. The subdivision committee met on April 19th at 7:30 a.m. and has the following recommendations. ASHTON Springs Phase 2, a re-subdivision of a portion of Tract 1, ANSLEE subdivision. The committee recommends re-layout approval on 47 lots.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Hampton Ridge Phase 7, the committee recommends layout and preliminary approval on 66 lots with a waiver on double-fronted lots 19, 20, 28 through 35, 44, 45, and non-radial lot lines between lots 29, 30, 22, 34, and 36, 37.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Henderson subdivision, this is a minor. The committee recommends layout approval on 2 lots with a waiver on the utility and development easements along the north and east perimeter lot line.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thomas, on Henderson, what the buildings that are there, are those residential properties and accessory structures, or what is that?
Give me a second. I'll go to the Google Earth. Essentially, what we have here is that I think it is a Mr. Brown who owns this property, and it is, like I said, overall 35.07 acres. Now, this area, he's essentially separating his business from his farmed land. In subdivision, considering he is a part of the city of Huntsville, he has to therefore, he couldn't just file a deed and therefore separate the land for the business from the land for that he would like to farm that would remain in its natural state. Typically, this would therefore go through just our minor meeting process, but because he's requesting a waiver of an easement between the properties, since it will not, he doesn't foresee that it will be developed, so there's no reason to therefore have an easement around the perimeter, considering that the rest of the farmland is his as well. So this is why it's before you. So he's separating the 2 parcels from one another.
Got it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The Preserve at Inspiration Phase 2, a re-subdivision of Tract 1, Common Area 1, and Lots 1 and 34 of Preserve of Inspiration Phase 1. The committee recommends preliminary approval on 32 lots.
Move to approve. Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The 5th item, Preserve at Wheeler, re-subdivision of a part of Tract 3A of Williams Wheeler Estates. The committee recommends re-preliminary approval on 170 lots.
Move to approve. Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Providence Phase 10, the committee recommends preliminary approval on 48 lots.
Move to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Trailhead Huntsville, a re-subdivision of Tracts 4 and 5 of Chase Creek Park. The committee recommends re-layout approval on 210 lots.
Move to approve. Second.
Is any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Moving on to location, character, and extent. The first item is the Green Mountain Volunteer Fire Department Accessory Building, number 861. A public hearing was held this evening. Move to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Ms. Humphrey satisfied with it, right? Okay.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm going to let Gary handle this after you report on, make the recommendation.
Oh, got it. Item number 2 is UAH Invention to Innovation Center. Item number 863, a public hearing was held. Move to approve.
All right, thank you. That's been noted. Is there a second? Discussion. And is there any discussion? Okay, I have one question. Is Rodney still here? Is this building a part of the overall campus master plan?
I would have to say yes. It is part of the overall master plan.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes.
Item number 3, Huntsville Tennis Center expansion. Item number 864, public hearing was held. Move to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, I have another question.
Yes, sir.
She mentioned the facility on the other side of the tennis court. I don't know if we have a smell test method, but do we have any additional concerns that we need some additional landscaping or some type of buffer?
Well, actually, where the dump, the not dump, but thank you, sir.
Solid Waste
Thank you, sir.
Disposal Authority.
The Solid Waste Disposal Authority is situated is about a quarter of a mile to a half mile from where the tennis courts are. The entrance is approximately where the tennis courts are. Just here in the vicinity. This is the entrance points of where the facility begins, and not where waste disposal exists. Is approximately, like I said, a quarter mile to a half mile from where they are.
Also, based on the demand of this tennis center, we feel that these courts are needed. The play that these courts are receiving is phenomenal. So we need to build these because Huntsville has a lot of tennis society going right now. It's a very good thing.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Our final item, the Wonder Walk in Gateway Park, number 865. A public hearing was held. Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Am I the only one with questions tonight? Okay. The Wonder Walk. So on the map here, we see each of the little green dots. I'm assuming that's where the signs are going to be placed.
That would be correct. There's approximately 14 signs that will be placed, plus 2 additional signs for the start that was shown in the depiction as the entrance that Miss Miller informed or showed us. This particular sign here is 2 additional, so it's 16 signs plus the 14 positions of the different types of signs.
So, Kathy, is it the intent that kids will come here as school groups or just with their parents?
Because it's focused on preschool children, so it'll be a great place for our preschools to bring a field trip, so to speak, or a walking trip. We've got a lot of child care centers close to downtown, and then also for individual families to come.
Okay. I just have one concern with the tracks behind it. Has that been considered in terms of children, small children, and safety? And
there's a separation of a creek of the creek that separates the track from the park. So there's the creek that runs to the east or to the west and follows along the backside. There's a creek that separates the two.
Okay.
Plus, I have a real problem with anybody's letting a 5-year-old in that park by themselves.
Okay. Thank you.
And the signs look like they were about 11 by 17.
18, actually. This is pretty close.
That's the actual size? Okay.
About 4 feet off the ground. The top of the sign will be about.
It'll be like that. Okay. And these are meant to be permanent? They'll be, okay.
Our oldest installation is in Graham Spring Park. It's about 6 years old.
Okay.
And the signs will grow.
My comment was going to be related to the mounting, the way that's mounted. It looks like it's just, I don't know if it's in concrete or, but if it's a permanent sign, let's just consider that.
And the city has recommended several options for installation, so we won't be doing it with volunteers.
Yeah, okay. All right, any additional discussion on this item? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, the next part of our agenda is their zoning report. Ms. Sally Warden, would you read our zoning report?
I'd be glad to. Thank you. The zoning committee met on April the 12th, and the following are our recommendations. Number 1, the Beadle Lane rezoning, item number 1621. We held a public hearing this evening, and based upon the comments from Jim McGuffey, I'd like to make a motion to send this item back to the staff for further review.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second item is the BINFORD zoning, number 1708. The public hearing was held tonight.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Third item is the Pulaski 2 rezoning, item number 1709, and this evening the public hearing was held.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't want to go.
Yes, sir. Mr. Whitley.
It was mentioned the permitted use for this property is not in the current zoning. Can you share with me what kind of development this is being proposed?
That planning staff is not certain of. There has not been a finalized contract at this time. There are just interested parties with this particular site, but those parties cannot locate on this site until the rezoning has been completed. So if in fact the rezoning is recommended by Planning Commission and adopted by Council, I would expect there to be action after that decision has been made on a buyer.
So you want C1 because you have C1 across the street, and then on the other side there you have the apartment complex, and then next to this are the mobile home park. Did we notify the? Well, I guess do we have to notify the mobile home owners?
The property owner has been notified. All property owners within the 500-foot radius have been notified, as well as the single-family home next door. That neighbor has contacted staff on to find out different options on his property as well. He's interested in possibly reusing the site for another use other than a single-family home.
And then the property just behind it, what is that?
Is the R2B
No.
property? This property,
Right.
This is the single-family home.
That's the single-family.
Yes,
Okay,
and it's also zoned Residence 1A.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to vote no.
I believe the ayes have it, so the motion carries.
Item number 4 is just for informational purposes. The zoning ordinance amendment on package sales. We set the public hearing for May on this, but it is going to amend Article 75, the Alcoholic Beverage Establishment Regulations, Section 75.1, definitions, and amends Article 92, Board of Adjustment, Section 92.5, powers and duties, subsection 92.5.3, permitted uses as special exceptions, by adding a new subsection 92.5.3 parentheses 41 to add special exception language concerning package sales. Follow that, guys? The committee recommends that the Planning Commission set a public hearing for May 23rd.
Move to set a public hearing.
Is there any discussion?
Just for your future reference, this will forever be known as the Costco proposed amendment.
Any further discussion? All in favor of setting a public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you. All right, the last section of our agenda is invocation and extension of bonds. Michelle, are these items What am I supposed to do here?
Staff recommends the invocation of items 1 through 5, Mr. Chair.
Move to approve.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That's the completion of our agenda. Our meeting is adjourned.
Oh, I need to sign that thing.